Hello everyone, it's Karina. For this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I made these adorable pumpkin rosettes. These are super easy to make. Here is one all packaged up. I added some sequins and then sewed the paper to add a little more cuteness to it. This one has a sentiment that says the pick of the patch, which I think is so fitting. Here's another one that I made. I didn't sew this one and I think it looks just as cute, so don't worry if you don't have a sewing machine. Before I get started on the process video, I wanted to quickly share with you all of the products that I'm using. This is the Jumbo Embossing Ink Pad by Ranger in clear, and this is what I use to sprinkle my embossing powder in. And the cute sentiment that you see me use on my packaging is by Lawn Fawn, and it is called Pick of the Patch. The pumpkin face that I use for the middle of my rosette is by Photoplay, and the collection that it coordinates to is called Matilda and Godfrey. Here is the embossing powder that I'm using. It's by Stampendous and it's just in the color black. And lastly, the heat tool that I'm using is this one by Doris, and I do believe I picked this up from Michael's a while back. To start things off, I did pick a bunch of orange paper for my stash that I thought would look cute. But you don't have to use a patterned paper, you can also use just plain orange cardstock. But this is the one that I decided to use. So I am gonna keep the length, the 12 inches in length. And for the width, I'm gonna cut it down to 1 3/8 inches. But you know, you can make these bigger or smaller, whichever you prefer. So for this one, I'm gonna score it every second line, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna score it and then skip 2 lines and score it again. So I'm doing that until I reach the end of my paper. So I ended up sewing the top part of my rosette just to add a little gold, and you do see it peep through on the rosette, and I think it just looks really cute. So now I'm gonna grab my circle punch and punch out a circle from this plain orange cardstock. So this is gonna be the middle of my rosette. So now that the ink is ready for the embossing powder, I'm just going to sprinkle this right on top and making sure I don't miss any of the ink. For a quick cleanup, I'm just using a plain regular painting brush and cleaning out all the excess powder as much as I can, because this will show up once you emboss it with your heating tool. But if you want to skip this part, you can always use just plain old black ink, and that works just as well. So I normally leave my heat tool on for 5 to 10 seconds, wait for it to heat, and then I'll put it directly on the ink and the embossing powder, and you can see it slowly start to change, which is really cool. Just make sure not to burn yourself. And now I'm gonna punch 2 more circles out of 110-pound cardstock, and I'm just gonna layer this right on top just to make it more sturdy. And the other circle cutout I'm gonna use for the back of my rosette. This is where it all starts coming together. I'm gonna be gluing these 2 ends with my hot glue gun to make sure it doesn't go anywhere and comes apart. So I decided to sew this little circle part as well, and I don't know, I think it just looks really adorable that way. And now I'm gonna add some foam to make this stand out a little more. So this is the final product. I'm obsessed with making these. I think these are just so adorable and perfect for some Happy Mail. So I think I'm going to leave you guys here. If you guys want to keep on watching, I do make another rosette. Same steps and everything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone. I just remembered one difference that I made, and for this rosette, I do score it every other line, so the score lines are a little smaller, but that's the only thing I did different. Everything else is the same. I just wanted to quickly add that, so I'm gonna go now for reals. Bye everyone.